Make everything transparent. Don't hide things. What all NOCs the different department is asking, you make everything transparent. Put it in your website. The client will say, sir, simply நீங்க போட்டு கொடுங்க. கட்டும்போது நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன். நீங்க approval வாங்கி கொடுத்துருங்க சார். நான் பண்ணும்போது he might be a politician, he might be an influential person who goes carried away by his own contractors. You will have to tackle all these things. Experience only you will be able to gain knowledge, and then you will be able to do. But please take the full responsibility in your hand and do it. This is my humble suggestion. If you want to get an income certificate for Trichy, also you can get an EC from here.
Have you personally encountered any project of yours where you had 4 units or 5 units or 6 units? After completion, did they do a completion, visit and give a completion certificate, sir?
What people say is the architect should be able to prove their design. In the sense, they should be able to convince the client, saying that we will be able to achieve this at such and such cost. Generally, the impression is when you go to an architect, then the cost becomes high. The architects they charge very high fees. Then the building cost becomes much more. That's what the engineers others tell. And so in fact we have to prove that we will be able to bring the cost down by using efficient technique, by using such and such building materials with low energy. Then by since there has been considerable delay, what CMD has done is they have made a portal. They are linking all the departments. They are making them to evaluate the software such that all the their software is linked to the CMDA. So when you apply to CMDA will send it to this respective departments, and they will give the NOC to CMDA. CMDA will give it. So further, what CMDA has told is you make things more transparent. The fire means what are the things you want to, suppose if an architect is designing a school, after designing that, now what happens is after designing a school and everything, when he goes to the fire department to get the NOC, fire department is saying some other rules. No, you should have done that. You have not followed that. You not follow according to their own whims and fancies. So it causes a lot of trouble. So what CMD says is, fire department means in a school, what all you want, you mentioned clearly. We will put it in the website, so the architects will see all those things. Don't come and say later that we want this thing after the building is constructed. Initially itself, you tell clearly what you want. Similarly, the pollution control board also. Pollution control board we need from the industries. So pollution control board, what all you want in the industries, with the small scale industry, with the green industry, with the orange industry, with the red industry, what are the things you want from the architects? So you display it in the website, so that the architects will go through it. They'll follow all these things and do the drawings accordingly. They will submit to us. Then we will send them to you. So there is normally what happens is they won't say anything. All this department, they won't say anything. After the building is complete, then they'll say a lot of mistakes. This is not that is not it. So in order to simplify all these things, it is called a single window system. We don't have to go to police department. Police department, for example, if you're doing a theater or an auditorium or Kalayamandapam, you have to get NOC from the police. So we don't know what rules the police has. So police department has to mention clearly in their website, which will link with the CMD website. If you go to CMD website, NOC means it will take you to the fire NOC, police NOC, pollution department NOC, archaeological NOC, whatever it is. So there you can see what all the norms they are saying, what you have to follow. You follow that, do the design of the building, and give it to us. We will send them to the respective departments. We will get the NOC. So this saves time. This is a single window system. From 1st May onwards, it has been implemented. From today onwards, it has been implemented in the CMD only. So it takes some time for the smooth functioning. Then it will come to municipalities and municipal corporations. Third stage will come to the Panchayat unions, and because it is a lot of correlation between the different departments. Housing board NOC you have to get. If it's housing board property, you'll have to get NOC. With the forest property, if it is very close property, forest, you have to get NOC from forest. So CMD is saying you make everything transparent. Don't hide things. What all NOCs the different departments is asking, you make everything transparent. Put it in your website. Architects will go through it. They'll make the plans accordingly. They will give it to us. We will forward to you. You give the NOC to us. We will give it to them. So it is what is called a single window system, which is very, very useful now for all the architects. I think I would really appreciate the CMD and the current member secretary, Mr. Anshul Mishra IAS, to make everything transparent, clean, and clear for this is a great opportunity for us. We all have to do get into it's a, you should not give the planning to any third person. You take the accountability, you take the responsibility, and you get into it. Any difficulty, you can tell you can write to CMD. They are open. You can meet the MS and don't go through any broker or a third person to approach whatever genuine problem you have. You can approach the MS CMDA and he will direct you to the concerned planners. But please do the approval drawing yourself. This is the advice I would like to give for the architects here. All the rules and regulations are there in the book, is there on the website. See, you go to CMDA website, it's just fantastic. Everything, even the office orders. Previously, the CMDA, they won't reveal the office orders. They will only the rules and regulations will be there. Office order, they'll be putting a lot of internal circulars where a lot of changes will be there. What you call it, amendments. No, all the amendments are there. You can just go and take it, and we have to just make use of all these things. And since the client is trusting you, you should be knowledgeable, knowing all the rules and regulations, what the process to get it done, how to get the approval. You should be an expert in that and help the client. The client will get utmost confidence in you, because if he goes out, then he'll unnecessarily shell out money. A lot of crooks who takes money from the clients who don't get the approval. The client gets cheated. Since we are denying, we are not taking the responsibility only. The client is going to the broker, where the broker takes time and a lot of money, a lot of transactions take place which you are not aware of. If the architect is willing to take the responsibility, then it will shorten the approval time. It will also help the client a lot. So with these things, I like to end my speech.
Shall we see the example that you have, sir?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is a residence in Anna Nagar, where we had two sites, like two roads. This is a 40 feet road and this is a 40 feet road, 42 feet road, and this is display.
So this is frontage and this is side setback.
Yeah, side setback. No, even here also there's a lot of confusion. I went and entered this 40 feet road. This is also 40 feet road. They told if the 40 feet road means you have to leave 10 feet. If this is a 40 feet road means you have to leave 10 feet. Even the CMDA, but then when we go through rules thoroughly, only we will understand that only the front, the front is abutting 40 feet road. You need to have, you need to leave 10 feet setback. This becomes a side. You're not giving this becomes the side. Side setback is for stilt plus 3/4 1.5 meters. Stilt plus 3/4 1.5 meter on the two sides. Back side also. This is also 1.5 meter. Front side depends upon the road width. The road width is 40. But if you don't know the rules, then the planners will say, sir, this is also 40 feet road, you have to leave 10 feet.
I lost a lot of 5 feet setback like that.
Yeah. So, I went and inquired CMDA, there also they guided me wrongly only. Then I consulted Mr. Prasad Yadav, he's an architect. We discussed with our own colleagues also. I think it's not a bad idea to discuss with our colleagues. Mr. Jamal is there, architect Jamal is there, who's the authority in the planning. He is a very friendly person. Any doubts we can call him, we can just ask him. So look at the columns also, no? Like the columns, like how the car has to go. So this is one of the and the building height is also important. Building height cannot be more than 12 meters. Top you can have the floating columns. Then the staircase. The planning is quite simple only, and there cannot be any wardrobes. There cannot be any wardrobe. There cannot be any balconies projecting onto setbacks, because they have already given the FSI 2. Previously, the FSI was 1.5. You can project the wardrobes, you can project the balconies onto setback. Since now they have increased the FSI, and you are leaving a setback of only 1.5 meters as side setback and rear setback, you cannot project anything except for the sunshades or the ducts. Even the staircase landing also has to come inside only. This is one of the see all the balconies are inside only. It's not projecting out onto the this thing display. So this is what a Vastu person will come and say a building cannot have a display here. So he will tell the client to construct the building like this. Whereas you are signing and you will get caught. These things you have to be really. The client will say, sir, simply you put approval. He might be a politician, he might be an influential person who goes carried away by his own contractors. You will have to tackle all these things. This is one of the important things which would see, like this elevation. You can have only sunshades and the fins, and then the like the ducts which take the toilet pipes can be there. There cannot be any projections on the setback. So this is also another still plus 3 floors, another 1.5 meters, 1.5 meters, 1.5 meters. The road with this is all staircase and everything is there. The building has been completed. See, here also we can give only sunshades, and this is permitted. On top, you can have a non-habitable room, like just like pergolas. But this should have been showed in the approved drawing. Without showing in the approved drawing, you cannot do it. You can show it. This is the building like after construction. They made it, and they come and checked it, and they given the completion certificate also. See, this is a very peculiar site where the plot width is less than 9 meters. If the plot width is less than 9 meters, then on one side you can abut the building. There is no need to leave a setback. On another side, you should leave 1.5 meters. Back side 1.5 meters. Front side also 1.5 meters. But here the problem is, the site is having posts like this. Then if you leave 6 feet here only, you will get 4 feet here. That is why they have given some completion certificate CC norms. So it can be like 4 feet. I mean, like normally 5 feet only you have to leave. But if in the completion certificate norms, if the 4 feet is there, then they will give completion certificate. Like similarly on the width of the building, on the length of the building also. Because the plot has got some curves, no. Similarly, in the height of the building also there is some relaxation to 3% of the height of the building. So these are but we are not supposed to do this. These are some of the cantilevers. But here it is only one building only. If it is going to be more than 3 units, then definitely you cannot do this. Definitely you cannot. There is no completion certificate for this. So if there's completion certificate, then even these projections are not allowed onto the this thing. Only these are AC ducts can be allowed. The AC ducts can be kept here. There's a building view what we made. There's a building under construction. So like these are list of documents for the Greater Chennai Corporation, approved drawing copy, sale deed, all these things. FMB sketch, Aadhaar card, and everything. Property tax pata copy, site photos copy, not you have to enclose. So by experience only you will be able to gain knowledge, and then you will be able to do. But please take the full responsibility in your hand and do it. This is my humble suggestions.
Okay, thank you, Architect Senthil, for the detailed explanation. I personally learned a lot of things today. So thank you for that, and I hope it was useful to everyone. We will open now for question answer session. So I request the participants to wait and raise your hand or unmute and ask without disturbing others. So I'll ask my first question, sir. So what you mean to say is the single window system as on date is only applicable for CMDA, and in future you are saying it will be applicable for even local planning authority approvals like corporation approvals, panchayat. It will also be coming there.
Yes, because like there what software they are having. All the software has to be linked together, and they don't have they don't have computer persons also who can use the softwares. If you go to village panchayat, you have to train them, and you have to upgrade them with the latest system, see the net connections and everything. It has to get, so it takes some time. In city, they have CMDA, they have just come into force from today. Then only Tamil Nadu municipality, Avadi municipality now will take some time. Then only, because like all the system has to be like, we don't have trained persons who can use the software and
the software that CMDA uses is APSA, right?
Yes. CMDA uses it'll start with the A only.
Much format, yes.
But you can download it from the website itself, and you can use it. Previously, we had a problem. We went at the percentage. APAS can be opened only in 2010 software. 2000, we went at the percentage as Indian architects. We had a meeting with the MS. Then we told what all problems we have. Then now they like these things and all they have made it internally to make so that when architects when they want to upload, then it will not show. Like they had some internal like their own for their convenience. Now when they opened up, when we have been now it is we can just it's very easy format. You can your draftsman he will easily learn. If you have a good draftsman, he will easily learn, and you just have to very user friendly also. But the problem is after the approval is given, you have to take the hard copies and go to the corporation. Then they'll make some corrections. That's the biggest problem. After software approves everything, again you take printouts and you go to the corporation, they will say, no, you change it. This we have represented MSCMD. MSCMD now told, once in the corporation gives approval, then you don't have to go. They got a proactive measures he's taking.
Okay.
That is good.
The single window system is only for Chennai projects, or if I am doing a project in Coimbatore, which is let us say it's a high-rise building. It is not. I mean, it is not an ordinary building. Let us say it has 5 floors. If I'm doing it in Coimbatore, I can apply through single window system from Chennai itself. No, is that how, or I have to go to DTCP now, Coimbatore?
If it's Coimbatore, then I think it has to be, the NOC has to be obtained from. I think if they have not a link, no, so far they are not at link directly. If in Chennai and surroundings, you can get it done from CMDA. Coimbatore means I think it has to go through the maybe still that point is not clear. They must have not. Maybe you can submit here, then they will direct it to the Coimbatore Corporation. Then they will get the NOC, or you will have to like that's why there are some teething problems here and there. So that they are trying to. But I think it's a good format is everything should be here. Like how you get a pata, no? If you go to the government e-services, you can get a pata here. You can get if you want to get an income certificate for Trichy also, you can get an EC from here. So like that, ultimately it will be made, but initially it will take some time. It'll definitely, but you don't have to go to Coimbatore. That much I'm sure.
Fine, sir. Sir, and one more doubt I have, sir. The major changes that they've made for the FSI, permissible FSI, general permissible FSI being 2, and still plus 3 coming under local body approvals or ordinary, they are considering ordinary. This came in 2019, if I'm not wrong. So after that 2 years, I mean, there's been not very less construction activity due to COVID. Like 2020, not many buildings happened. 2021, some buildings are happening and coming up. So how true is this completion certificate for 4 units? Does corporation, the zonal officer, do they have the manpower to first of all visit all and give a completion certificate? Because approval itself, I don't think they have the same bandwidth as CMDA. Because CMDA buildings, the number of buildings is lesser compared to the number of buildings that corporation approves. That is my understanding. Have you personally encountered any project of yours where you had 4 units or 5 units or 6 units? After completion, did they do a completion, visit and give a completion certificate, sir?
Yeah, and in fact, in Tinagar also I showed you the senior housing private limited. There we had 6 units. We got the approval because it's a flat. So it's a flat. Normally, in these cases, only when you get the completion certificate, only you have to submit you can get the EB and the metro water supply. If you apply for the EB, then they'll ask the completion certificate. If you apply for metro water and drainage, they will ask for the completion certificate. So in that case, the completion certificate will become mandatory. They won't come. We will have to apply. You have to apply for CMDA and call them to the site and show them the entire thing. They will record everything, and then they will give us the completion certificate.
How much time do they usually take for this, sir? Approval will take 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Also. Completion certificate, when we apply, how long will they take to come?
We have to keep running behind them. That's the main. It's a difficult question only to answer actually. Like you have to keep. It depends upon like that is why like all these things only the MS wanted to remove all these things. So he's setting a deadline. He's setting a time frame for complete certificate. Like it'll be coming. So far there is no time frame. So after you apply within such and such day, you'll get the complete certificate.
By default, we'll get the completion certificate.
Yeah, by default, you'll get the completion certificate.
That will be really helpful. No?
And you have to certify. Like in architect is certifying. No, this is all as per rules. I'm certifying. So the trust and verify method will come there. Trust and verify. When the architect says that it's all this is all done as per by this thing, then the completion certificate can be issued based upon the trust of the architect. So like MS is MS is saying we are trusting architects. We are trusting architects, but you take up the responsibility. We don't have manpower. You take up the responsibility. So that is very proactive. So for that only, we have to make sure there are no deviations.
One more doubt, sir. All the special buildings through CMDA, architect, structural engineer, geotechnical, we have to give undertaking and only we have to sign. But all these ordinary buildings, any licensed surveyor can. So it is not necessary. Only architects have to do. Correct?
Yeah, any licensed surveyors in class 1 engineers. Like they can do it. They can do it and get it. Yeah, there the risk is less. There's not much risk in that in ordinary buildings. And we don't have trained architects also in all places. Villages, you will not get architects. Any like license surveyor or an engineer, they can do the. They can do.
Are there any discussions happening at IAA or IAA where we want to ensure that all these the small and medium projects which comes to young architects? See, larger projects usually go to established practices and senior architects, right? All the young architects get these ordinary buildings. And the scope of work of young architects is getting reduced to only doing the plans, views, sometimes drawing. Sometimes they don't even ask drawing. I'm talking about both promoter builder projects as well as individual clients. So when this approving planning authority, since it is anyone can apply, right? Even a licensed surveyor can sign. So the importance of architects is not there, so that people are not thinking architect first when it comes to planning. Okay, for doing a house or doing a small or medium sized building. Okay, so can we do something like that? Okay, let a license surveyor approve what they also should sign, but can it be mandatory something similar to what CMDA is doing? Like architects have to sign. You can't get a project done without an architect. So our fees is ensured. The buildings, all the projects, they go through an architect by default because there's a law, there's a legal way to do it. But when it comes to the small ordinary buildings, is there something we as a fraternity can do to ensure that all the projects go through an architect, so that we get more demand for architects? Thereby, when there's more demand, obviously the fees and the income for every architect will improve. No, sir. Are we? Can we think in those lines? Will IAA be interested in doing such things?
Yeah, we had a lot of discussion. But then what happened is, even in CMD also, it is not only purely architects. Like even a multi-story special building, what you call this? No more special building. It's a non-high-rise building and then high-rise building and the multi-story building. So here also they say non-high-rise building can be done by architect or an engineer with the 3 years experience, and then high-rise building can be done by an architect can do all sort of buildings, but engineers they are just categorized with 3 years experience, with 10 years experience, 15 years experience. Then he can design the buildings. Same as like a multi-story building can be done by a civil engineer with the 10 years experience, or a civil engineer with 5 years experience can do a high-rise building like us. With 3 years experience can design like that. They have just categorized. So it is not only the domain of the architects. So it has become like engineers also. They're saying they're also studying civil engineering, structural engineering. So they also have to.
Structural engineering, geotechnical survey, all those things we understand. Electrical, plumbing, all those things, they are capable. I mean, they are the experts. When it comes to, the small buildings, designing of the buildings, I think if we can, get hold of that one particular place where they have to go through an architect, then that will improve the demand for architects massively.
Exactly. But what people are saying is the architect should be able to prove their design. In the sense, they should be able to convince the client, saying that like we will be able to achieve this at such and such cost. Generally, the impression is when you go to an architect, then the cost becomes high. The architect they charge very high fees. Then the building cost becomes much more. That's what the civil engineers others tell. And so in fact, we have to prove that we will be able to bring the cost down by using efficient technique, by using such and such building materials with low energy. Then by what are the instead of going for whatever what to say the building technologies, building techniques, what we use, the materials what we use, we should be able to prove that if the building cost will not be high, same time the comfort level will be much higher if we employ architects and do it. That research component is missing. The spatial planning we are very strong, but then that component of it we have to be sure. And then the architect also has to keep in mind the budget and the costing. Like generally, civil engineers are very thorough with the costing of the building. Ultimately, the client, even if we also go and buy any product, we'll ask about the cost only first. How much the tile is costing, how much the tap is costing, how much the switch is costing. So the costing, when you ask about the architects, how much the building is costing, we will not we just cannot tell. So the costing part of it will have to be the cost, and then in fact, an architect and the engineer combination will be very good. In the coastal areas and all, I see an architect and engineer pairing together. Architect doing all the creative works, structural engineer doing site works. as a team, they do we cannot do away with them. We cannot do away with them, like in the sense, we need their
We need them.
we need
But the
support.
thing is, at least the planning and the designing part, if there is some kind of legal, assurance for us that everything should go through an architect. See, for example, bank valuations, chartered valuations, right? So they have a certain set of people who do valuation. So for sure, people have to go through them. The same with the notary public, with lawyers, right? The same with auditing. So if there's a certain clauses, then it has to be audited. A company should be audited. So their profession is guaranteed. But for us architects, what is happening is, especially the young architects, the ones who are starting out now, it's becoming very difficult for the people who are starting afresh, because first of all we have to prove that we are good, and we have to convince them that they first need an architect, and then we have to convince them that we are the good architects, are the right architect for the project. So that's one problem that all young architects are facing.
You're right, but then it takes some time, because what they say like the MSc, they say they are also engineers. They are not mechanic. A mechanical engineer is not doing a house, or the electrical engineer, or the IT. It's only civil engineers. Civil engineers are part, they are also part of the building industry. So we cannot say no to them. If you are capable, if you are more talented, you will get the project. If he is talented than you, you'll get the project. So it's a healthy competition. You take it that way between that you'll have to.
Thank you for clarifying. So anyone else has any doubts to ask Architect Senthil? Bala, Ramesh, Ram, Arun.
No doubts, sir. Actually, thank you for this session. So I was just waiting for this session. So thank you, Senthil sir, for adding more insights to this particular topic. And I had one question only regarding this single window system, whether this is applicable to all the region, something like that. So I just got clear through, sir. So till now, until they establish this for all the regions, it will be only for the CMT.
Yeah, you'll be only facility, because you'll have to integrate all the departments and put under like one umbrella. So that will take a lot of time, even those departments also have to be updated. They have to come forward. The forest department means the forest department, I don't know how many of them will be able to use computers. How many of them, so they have to purchase system, they have to get the persons in place, then they have to work out. It will take some time, but then the system is moving on now.
Sir, and one more thing, I remember I did a industrial project in 2012 in Hyderabad, Huda, Hyderabad Urban Development Authority. So there they had this single window system in 2012 itself. So I was working for L&T then. So we were doing a plant building in Hyderabad. So they sent me, L&T sent me to coordinate with the legal counsel. So there was a law firm that was helping us, and they had the single window. I always thought Tamil Nadu was, ahead in terms of adapting to technology and systems. Are we late in doing this single window?
Yeah, we are very much, but then the MS, the CMDA clearly says whenever we want to be proactive, there's a block within the department itself. There's a lot of huge opposition within due to vested interests. Due to vested interests, he wants to do a lot of things which are convenient to everyone, but then there's a lot of opposition from within the system itself. You say very, very unfortunate. Unfortunately,
we lose a lot of you rightly mentioned the vested interest. So yeah.
So he said that so in order to break out, come out of the clutches, it'll take some time. It'll take some time. So like that.
So basically, this single window system is a good thing because it improves transparency, and there's a timeline there, like 60 days. Otherwise, it's approved. And we are undertaking saying that we are going by this thing, but still at the end of the project we have to apply for completion certificate, and they will have to visit, inspect, and approve, give the completion certificate. So it is just that the starting of the project, the unnecessary delays are avoided, but still we have to go by the approval drawing. We have to self-attest it, and we have to get it completed, and during the completion certificate they will come and visit, and only then they will give.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for clarifying. And I think many practicing architects, especially from Chennai, they'll be highly, they'll find this session highly useful. We will be editing this and uploading in YouTube as well in maybe 1 week, 10 days time. Once the video editors are ready, we'll upload it. I'll share the link with you, sir. Thank you once again. And Hope we call you back sometime after a few months or after some time for another topic, which where you can share your experience. Also, you mentioned about one architect who is well versed with this thing. So you can call him and ask. You mentioned Jafar.
Mr. Jamal.
So he's a practicing architect, sir.
Yeah, he's practicing. He's an authority in the rules. Any doubts, you can call him and ask him. And CMD has got great regards for him. He knows everyone in CMD, and everyone knows about Jamal, sir. And
kindly connect with him, sir. I'll try to bring him also for one of our sessions.
Yeah, please. And he'll be able to give 200% information, more information than what I give. You should call him.
Sure. Kindly connect me with him, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you everyone for attending today's session. We'll wind up, and thank you.